Hello, welcome to this update for the Indian Ocean, Australia, some parts of Oceania and Southern Africa. So let's see here what we have now. So there's this invest 92 near between Fiji and New Caledonia. It's not expected to do much, but you bring some more rain to Vanuatu, especially. And there's also it's all invests here. There's this stronger one near just off of Queensland. It's not expected to make landfall in Queensland by the models, but it's a strong invest there. The coral sea that might form into something. Stay out to sea. There's this other one off of Northern Australia. It's almost a tropical storm, but not really. But you just like head out to sea as well. And there's this one with a lot of moisture just north of Fiji and Samoa. So we'll keep watching this. There's like where southwestern Pacific here. So this is the GFS, shows that almost a tropical storm Fiji, not Fiji, Coral Sea, almost a tropical storm there, but it just goes, and the GFS does have it going to Queensland on March 1st. So the GFS is one of the only models that does that, but it does weaken before landfall to a tropical storm. But you know how the GFS is, it can show things that won't happen. So there's the European now. It shows a 972 cyclone forming in the Coral Sea and then just diving down and away, maybe into New Zealand on March 6th, just the remnants of it. But we'll keep watching. So the GFS goes towards Australia, the European towards New Zealand. But there's the Canadian, the system, the Coral Sea. It does go down to 974 cyclone as well, but it just lingers there and passes very close to Queensland, but very weak. So the Canadian doesn't have landfall, but it tries to pass close to Queensland very weak. There's the icon, shows a 967 cyclone, the Coral Sea. It goes and still lingering there because the icon doesn't go further out than this. But now for the other cyclones near Fiji and Samoa, does have this low pressure diving down into the Pacific, just goes away. But it does have a lot of tropical moisture in Fiji, Samoa and Vanuatu and those areas. So be careful. The European doesn't have any cyclone forming there. Maybe some low pressures further south in the Pacific later on the 26th or something, but it doesn't have any cyclones near Fiji. But the GFS, it's very crazy because it forms a cyclone just east of Fiji on the 23rd already, and today's the 21st, so the GFS might be a little bit drunk, but you never know. We'll keep watching. It goes and dives down and it passes another 996 low pressure, like tropical depression near Fiji on the 25th. But it goes and tries to form another one just off of Vanuatu, the Coral Sea, the 27th. But we'll keep watching this. There's the Canadian too, shows the low pressure further south in the Pacific, and then tries to form tropical storm near Fiji, but just east of Fiji, and it forms like south of Fiji. But if even if it doesn't pass through Fiji, there'll be a lot of passing thunderstorms and rain you should be careful with. So this goes, and later just more tropical moisture. There's the icon, a very interesting scenario. So this goes, and the icon is like the GFS. On the 23rd it has a tropical storm on the east side of Fiji. This goes and gets to a 973 cyclone out in the South Pacific. Then it forms another one east of Vanuatu, 980, and dives down to the Pacific too. So the icon is forming 1, 2, 3 cyclones. So it might be exaggerating, but let's just keep watching. because you never know. There's the Neptune, the one in the Coral Sea there. The Neptune does go into Queensland, so only the Neptune and the GFS are making it from Queensland. So don't let your guard down in Queensland, because this could come. You never know. So the Neptune is there on the 25th, and it also forms like the one east of Fiji. It doesn't pass by Fiji, but it passes just east of Fiji, more storms, and it forms another one like just east of Vanuatu. So the Neptune is also very radical to its system. So we'll keep watching, but be aware in those areas. Just stay on alert, monitor your local forecast, especially still in Samoa, Matautu, those heavy rains. And then this is the European. It doesn't have a pronounced tropical storm, but on Sunday the 23rd does have this tropical low near Fiji, with a lot of storms on the eastern side of Fiji. So be careful on the eastern side of Fiji. And of course, if this is a tropical storm, be careful even more. But in the southern side of Tonga, it might get a hard hit late on the 25th. So stay on alert, like Tonga, especially the central southern part, and just more tropical moisture later. So be aware, we'll keep watching. In Queensland, some coastal thunderstorms because of the system, but nothing that crazy. More tropical moisture, the Samoa Islands too. So yeah, be careful. Some passing storms, showers in Vanuatu, some showers in New Caledonia, especially later next week in New Caledonia. But things could change too. So be aware. There's the GFS, which already has a tropical storm or even a cyclone, the southeastern portion of Fiji, like on those very far southeastern islands on the 24th, and it does go towards southern Tonga later. So we'll keep watching. And the GFS is also this in Queensland on March 1st, but we'll keep watching. There's the icon, like I showed you. It has the storm in Fiji on the 23rd, 24th especially, so be careful there. And more storms near Vanuatu, Samoa Islands, so stay safe. And be careful the storms and lightning, and like some flood in danger some areas, but also be wind because of this. So these are the wind gusts showed like in Samoa and American Samoa, slightly higher gusts still. It's already Saturday there, the 22nd. So I saw some wind advices in American Samoa one of these days, so be aware. So this goes later into Saturday, slightly breezier in spots of Tonga still, but Matautu 75 km per gust potentially. So Saturday into Sunday, the icon has this is the European, not the icon, but the European is like almost a tropical storm just east of Fiji and west of Tonga. So it does have Vatua, some 86 km per gust, Nukuki, Nukuni, some 70 km per gust, windier in Tonga too. So this goes, and later has like 106 km per gust in Nuku'alofa, Tonga. So if you are there, or you know someone there, please warn others that this might be a significant wind event, not as crazy as an actual tropical cyclone passing over you, but this might be dangerous too. So please just warn others and monitor for changes in the forecast, because these systems are so unpredictable. So the 25th, this goes away there, and more low pressures passing by later, but nothing crazy. The storm off of Australia might cause more swells and more like rip current danger, some waves there too into the last week of this month. So be careful in those areas as well. And so yeah, be careful. There's GFS 2, Matautu, those strong winds. The GFS is slightly stronger. These atolls just east of Fiji to 110, 121, some islands there. But in Tonga, the GFS like some 96 in Nuku'alofa, so slightly different than the European, but worth watching too. The icons like very crazy, like 129 km/s in southeastern islands of Fiji. This will be so dangerous, and like shows 156 in Nukuni. I don't think it will be this strong, but you never know. This year with these warm waters, I seeing things intensifying so fast, so never let your guard down, but don't get scared with misinformation too, because this changes so fast. But just be aware, Fiji and Tonga, now for rain accumulation, that's one of the most dangerous things, flooding. So the icon has that stronger system, has some spots in Fiji to 216, some specific islands to like 171 to 268, Samoa Islands 178 millimeters. This is the 5-day total, but just until Monday, it just like 100 in some areas, and until Tuesday, already has all of this. So the worst will be between Monday and Tuesday. So be careful, and until Wednesday it has even more. The icons like 312 in Nukuni. This would cause some very significant flooding. 141 in southern Tonga. So please be aware and stay safe. Matautu still more than 100 in Nalo. Be careful. There rain now in Lata and Samoa, more islands there, close to 200 millimeters, 170, and absolutely insane in the middle of the ocean because that tropical low in the coral sea. But hopefully no one's there. So now there's the European, shows worse in Tonga, the European, but in Fiji does have some 127, northern side of Fiji 120, some passing thunderstorms, and more in eastern Fiji. But in Tonga, the Europeans like 226 millimeters, 225, 237, so this would be very significant. So please just monitor the forecast and warn others, because this plus the wind and the rain and some dangerous swells and everything, so stay safe this rain. There's the GFS as well. The GFS is scared. It's kind of weird. It shows like next 5 days in Fiji, like 377. I think this is too much. I don't see evidence on the other models of that much over Fiji itself, but that does show a lot from the tropical moisture there. So shows like in eastern Fiji from that system 223, 189, 180. So please be aware. Shows in Inalo 274 still from those tropical lows. Lata, Mua, a lot of rain. So stay safe in a lot of more areas. But in Tonga, it doesn't have that much. It has passage south of Tonga. So that's a possibility too, but just stay on alert in Tonga, just in case. That there's like here the Canadian model too, is worth watching. So there's like for rain accumulated, so it does show there like, so this is so here around 4 or 5 days from now shows the north side of Fiji close to 200 millimeters. So the Canadians indicating more storms coming on shore the north side, and does have this storm between Fiji and Tonga, not over Fiji or Tonga. Then it dives south. So the Canadian doesn't have that much in Tonga, but better watch too. And like some long range until March 1st does have more in Fiji and some more in those tropical areas. So please be careful those areas. the storms plus the wind and the possibility of a tropical storm near Fiji and Tonga, and also be monitoring Australia. I don't think you make landfall in Queensland, but just monitor in Australia. So here the probabilities we have this one, a high probability. The system that's like just diving south into the Pacific, 94 Ps, the one that might cross Fiji. So that one is still a low chance. And both near Australia are moderate chance of formation near Queensland, and this one just head out to the Indian Ocean. So be careful those areas. And now here for some normal rain, not India here, the Indian Ocean. So where do you go here? It's somewhere here good. So now for the rest of the Indian Ocean, there's the European. So the Indian Ocean, the main troubles are around Africa, Madagascar, and some areas. So it shows that broad low pressure between Mozambique and Madagascar. Like this is Sunday, shows the low pressure there, shows another low pressure trying to form just north of Mauritius. So it goes there, this is the European. Then it tries to form a tropical storm and passing over Mauritius on the 26th, next Wednesday. And the broad low pressure does taking to Madagascar there, no Madagascar, Mozambique, but just keeps lingering there. And then the European strengthens the other one more over the Indian Ocean later. There's the GFS now, shows us a similar thing, that brought low pressure bringing heavy rain to western Madagascar and parts of Mozambique, and it does form this cycle north of Mauritius too. So it does pass a tropical storm right over or just north of Mauritius on Tuesday the 25th. So be watching in Mauritius too, because two models are already showing this and it's very worth watching. So this goes in the GFS strengthens this more like in the way south Indian Ocean, and then it does have the low pressure from Mozambique back into Madagascar later, like 995 on the 28th, and the GFS is once again another system later, but that's far out. So there's the Canadian here too, shows the broad low pressure, the Mozambique channel, the storms in Madagascar, Mozambique, and then the Canadian does form this tropical storm just north of Reunion as well, and Mauritius the 27th. It passes right over Reunion and right by Mauritius on Friday the 28th. So if I were you there, would watch this very closely and warn others there of the possibility of a system there. So there's the icon, the low pressure, the Mozambique channel. Be careful in Madagascar with flooding from those storms. Then the icon does form this storm to the 25th. Not a very strong system because it's disorganized, but does show some heavy rain in Mauritius on the 25th from this. So be careful. This goes, and the icon forms of 957 cyclone near Madagascar on March 1st. So it's the icon is very crazy there, but we'll keep watching. You never know. There's the Neptune, so like the low pressure, the Mozambique channel, a lot of storms in Madagascar, Mozambique, and the Neptune does form this storm like Mauritius and Reunion as well on the 26th, and does pass over Reunion on Thursday, February 27th, and keeps the other one near Madagascar there. So keep watching this if you are in Reunion, Mauritius, those areas. Just be on alert, keep watching. Not exactly now on alert, there's nothing imminent now, but just worth watching. Same thing for Australia and the other areas. But in terms of rain and thunderstorms in Australia, the center is mainly quiet, and still some tropical moisture, northern Queensland, northern Territory, and northwestern Australia. nothing that crazy, but just be careful these storms in the afternoon, especially some areas to like some 92 millimeters and some more spots there. So be aware, but this is not a high resolution model. So for example, some high resolution models like this one, it doesn't show much the next 24 hours. It's slightly quieter now, but it shows some 53 millimeters around the next 24 hours from a specific storm or two. And in northern Queensland, it does have more action, northern Queensland. So I don't know why this is in inches, but here so millimeters shows already some 129 in some areas, 126 just. I'm so sorry for that crazy noise. They are fixing something here. Sorry. But as I was saying, so this is a high resolution model and it shows those specific downpours around in the next 24 hours. Some heavy rain on the east coast and more spots in northern Queensland. So now it's like Saturday morning, the 22nd. This will be until Sunday. So, and be careful because, for example, there's this one that's not high resolution and it shows some spots to like 20 millimeters, 35, and just this 35 millimeters can fall in a heavy thunderstorm because these summer storms can be very intense. So if you are inside a thunderstorm, please be careful that there can be flooding and other dangers inside a thunderstorm. So don't get fooled by the rainfall amount it shows on the models. Just be careful inside the storms. And now some long range until March 3rd or something, until March 6th, shows some more rain on the east coast, some fronts, and like some in Queensland too, but doesn't show that much, but shows some more in Queensland, and that has more like northern Queensland into Northern Territory. The European until March 6th, does some more in northwestern Australia and Northern Territory, and a thing or two in Western Australia. But the main focus during the next few weeks are the tropics around Fiji, Vanuatu, Samoa Islands, Indonesia, Malaysia as well, Papua New Guinea. So here's the focus over the next few weeks. But be careful in Australia too with some storms. There's the GFS, which has this system coming to Queensland, and only the GFS and the Neptune are bringing this system towards Queensland. So these are the only two models showing that, but you never know. Let's just keep watching, and it shows like some more northwestern Australia through this like 13-day rainfall total, but just 5 days already shows us some storms. So be careful in those areas, but specifically in Africa, Madagascar, there's that low pressure spinning there. That will bring some constant rainfall towards western Madagascar in those areas. So some areas over the next 5 days, like 670 millimeters, 600, 998. So please stay safe in Madagascar in those areas. This is some very high totals because of that low pressure system. So some storms in Mozambique, too, in Zimbabwe, in eastern South Africa shows more too. Some northern Botswana, Zambia, miles of northern Namibia, but the main focus is Madagascar. The European is lighter there. The European is only around 314 Madagascar, and I trust this slightly more than the GFS shows some 266, 327. So, but even if it's just 327 instead of 400, you'll be right. It's very significant in some areas. So please stay safe in those areas there. With the storms Central Madagascar too, and more spots. So stay safe. And Mauritius, when the cyclone comes, does show some 180 millimeters already, some 175. So be careful with flooding as it comes into next week in Reunion as well. There's the icon. Shows 187 Mauritius, and the north coast close to 200, Port Maturin, and does have this tremendous amount the Mozambique Channel and close to Madagascar and central Madagascar too. But the icon has a lot in central Mozambique, especially those areas. So stay safe. There's this high resolution model here too that shows some significant amount southeastern Madagascar next 24 hours. So like until Saturday afternoon, shows more like central northern Madagascar, more spots there, and alright, some in Reunion. So yeah, stay safe. These systems, please be careful with flooding. Shows this cold front in South Africa now, more storms Saturday afternoon, and just this tropical rains around Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia, central northern Namibia, and Angola. So just be careful this scattered rainfall. And Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, São Tomé expect some storms too, especially in Angola and southern Congo, Brazzaville, Republic of Congo. Stay safe. And a storm or two, some showers or two, southern Ivory Coast, some spots there. But this is like Monday afternoon. This goes there and more storms. So be aware and let's see. So the accumulation till Wednesday, the 26th. Don't mind this because this is not loading. Shows here like some 110 millimeters, 91 millimeters in Angola, next 5 days, 128. A specific spot or two. This forecast always changes, but show like northern Namibia, not Namibia, Angola, northern Angola, Samoa, central northern Namibia, especially northern Namibia, more storms, and Botswana, except southwestern Botswana, but more spots in Botswana. Be aware in Zimbabwe, the European shows a lot in spots of Zimbabwe, but this always changes. You never know. So be aware. It shows some more rainfall in Gabon too, in Equatorial Guinea, southern Nigeria, some more storms. Liberia, some showers. Democratic Republic of Congo, a few. So be aware, especially with these stronger afternoon storms. Mozambique, South Africa, spots of Eswatini, Madagascar, Zimbabwe. So stay safe. There's the GFS too, the rainfall in those areas. There's the icon, shows more in Angola, Namibia, in Mozambique, and some in Cameroon as well, and some areas there. So stay safe in those areas. And just for curiosity here, Sawingas is stronger in the southern Indian Ocean, south of Madagascar, but it does go there. It's still too far to predict exact impacts from this storm on the 25th, but the European area showed like some 58 km per gauss in Mauritius, some 62, and specifically later some 76 in some areas, some 77, some 78 km per gauss. So we'll keep watching. There's the GFS that passes slightly east, and there's the icon more similar to the European too, and the icon might have slightly higher, some 84, but this still like 5 days out, so we have time to track this. But be aware those areas, and in Australia it's breezier, sometimes some 57 km per gauss, but there's this cold front like later today, Saturday, in spots of South Australia, slightly higher gauss, as shown by the European. Saturday this goes. Sometimes this is hard to predict because this forecast changes, but it does show a few spots Western Australia slightly higher, and breezier in Southern Australia, especially Tasmania because of this front, some higher gusts there. So be careful, some 95, 77 km per gauss. And then this goes, and a day or two, sometimes some slightly higher gusts in specific spots of Western Australia. and a few spots there. So be aware, but track your local forecast because there's always changes. Off the coast of Queensland, there'll be this cyclone. Be aware of the waves, some wind and swells, and then this goes potentially more fronts later, southwestern Australia. So stay safe. And now here, so heat. Um, so it's still very hot, still shows around some 45 degrees ahead of this front. Spot the desert, some northern territory, some 39, 40 degrees, 44, some 43 degrees, 39. It's not a spot in Victoria, South Australia, also show like 4 degrees this afternoon in Victoria. So stay safe, some 38 degrees in some areas. And then Sunday the 23rd, still very hot, of course, some 39, some 41, some 43, shows more spots of Western Australia too, and slightly milder because of the front in the south, and some more tropical temperatures in the north, not so hot in northern Queensland, but this goes during the night in Tasmania, and southern Victoria, some 8 degrees, slightly colder, some spots in the far south during the night, but Tuesday afternoon, the 25th, still shows some 42 degrees, some 42, 43, especially in the far western desert, some 45 degrees, in other spots, some 45, and 39, so stay safe. And also still in western Queensland, spots in New South Wales, some 40 degrees, so stay safe. Tuesday, still into Wednesday, still hot, and January you just remain hot because this the hottest time of year. But stay safe, especially some days where you see some weather alerts for some higher heat, like shows the 27th, some 46 out in the desert, some 45, some 44 Marble Bar, and then shows further south as well. So stay safe this heat, and yeah, we keep watching. There's the Australia warnings link down the description for more information. There are warnings and some forecasts in the website too. So check there. There's the GFS here too. Shows some 42 degrees, some 38, some 39, some 41. The GFS is maybe a little bit less than the European, but still shows some 41, some 42, and the heat index might be higher in some areas. The feels like temperature, especially if there's higher humidity or if it's too hot. So be aware. And there's like the GFS on Monday, spot to Western Australia, some 43 degrees, some 42, might be locally 44, spots in South Australia and Queensland as well. So stay safe and make sure you know what to do in very hot temperatures, like avoiding heat stress and heat stroke, and stay cool. Make sure you know how to stay safe. And South Africa, nothing crazy, but still hot in some areas, especially Mozambique, some spots there, but just like normal summer temperatures, nothing that extreme. Sometimes maybe into next week, hotter, like some 38 northwestern South Africa, spots in Namibia, but the real hot places like Chad, South Sudan, those areas, they're like really hot. So stay safe there too. And Tanzania, some days Kenya, locally some 39, so stay safe. And yeah. So stay safe these systems, please be careful. Be careful the rainfalls in Southeast Asia too, especially like in Indonesia, Western Guinea, Papua New Guinea. So those showers and storms, this goes, and like especially Malaysia and Indonesia, and some others have a weird moisture surge in Vietnam as well. But this goes and like shows more passing showers and storms, Indonesia, Malaysia. Always be careful with these storms, because any of these storms has the potential for lightning, some strong winds, and locally some heavy rain. So be careful. There's the European next 5 days, more than 100 in central Indonesia, spots in Sumatra as well. And this is, like I told you, not a high resolution model. So if there was a high resolution model here, it might show locally more some downpours. So be aware of that. Shows in southern Thailand, the eastern coast of northern Malaysia as well. Be aware. And like I told you, Vietnam, it does have some more rain there too, locally more than 100 in a few spots. And does like some 79 in Cambodia, some general, some winter rain in Thailand, and some more spots, and some cold rain in China too. But we'll discuss that on some winter weather forecasts. And then there's like southeastern Philippines, still some heavy rain. So, and some specific islands there, 223, spots to 101. So be aware there too. There's the excess here too, that's sometimes more accurate. So shows like spots to 179 in Indonesia and southern Malaysia, even shows 200 in next 5 days, central Sumatra. But the excess really has more on the east coast of northern Malaysia, to 300 potential next 5 days, spots to 266. So be aware of flooding potentially, and thunderstorms. Talking about the excess, it's like very crazy in Vanuatu, and like it has in eastern Vanuatu close to 300 as the cyclone, the Coral Sea, and the excess does try to form this thing near eastern Fiji, like Vatoa, Nukuni. It's some very high totals. So it cuts off and gets to Tonga, but it might show stuff southern Tonga too. So in Western Australia, some showers or thunderstorms, but nothing that extreme. But be careful in Vietnam, shows more too. Doesn't show as much in Thailand and Cambodia, but does show more in Vietnam. In southeastern Philippines, it has like something very crazy. So always make sure you know how to stay safe in flooding and thunderstorms, and just be careful. Stay safe.